Good evening, everybody. Shall we start by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times? Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Okay, as Teacher Lily introduced, 3 months ago, we have a Dhamma talk by Sayadaw U Chotika, a famous meditation master from Myanmar. And he talked about life and rebirth. So maybe this is a maybe continuation of that topic, because he Sayadaw talked about life and rebirth according to his own experience, as well as some of the books written by Western scholars. So actually my talk were based on the suttas. Because the Antarābhava, or between death and rebirth, is very controversial issues. Even nowadays, maybe since the Buddha time. So today I will talk about it based on the suttas as well as the post-canonical text. We call it Kattavatu. First of all, I want to explain what is the definition of Antarābhava. It simply means intermediate existence. The existence between death and rebirth. As you know that, as a Theravada, we always said that when we die, we will have a rebirth right away, immediately. We are always talking about it. And also there are some Buddhist schools, especially Tibetan Buddhism, so they emphasize the importance of intermediate state. So that means between death and rebirth. So there's a contradict teachings among Theravada and Tibetan Buddhism. So today I want to clarify that. So first of all, I want to explain about Kattavatu. It is a historical record about the debates between Buddhist schools, especially among the Theravada Buddhist schools and other Buddhist schools. So Theravada trying to clarify some of the controversial points. So today's topic is one of them. So Kattavatu talk about so many controversial points. Like can we give some material things, especially food and clothing, to the departed people? Can we give material things like food and clothing to our departed relatives? Kattavatu said that no, we cannot give like that. This point also, is also still controversial. Some Mahayana schools. So they said that we can give food to our departed relatives, right? Like that. So here also, Antarābhava also one of the topic mentioned in Cakkapala. As you know, that Cakkapala is written at the time of King Asoka, 3rd century BC. 3rd century BC. So by that time, there are a lot of controversial issues. As you know, that is 200 years about after Buddha passed away. You know? Of course, there are a lot of controversial issues regarding with some teachings. Here also, one of them, Antarābhava. So by that time, according to Cakkapala, some Buddhist schools, especially the Pogla Vardins, the Buddhist school that accept the passing, the idea of passing, or the idea of individuals, which is a kind of atta. Which is the opposite of anatta, right? Opposite of anatta. So believe in Antarābhava, intermediate state. So there are some Buddhist schools at the 3rd century, in the 3rd century BC. So they accept that there is a intermediate state between death and rebirth. So even nowadays, so many Buddhists, they believe that after somebody died, so that person stay lingering around for 7 days. 7 days, some Buddhist countries. But here, 49 days, right? 49 days. So this is a very common belief, you know. So according to them, so somebody who died stay going around 49 days. So therefore, they transfer merit to help them. So today we will clarify: is that truth? Is that idea in according with teachings of the Buddha in the Pali Canon? So here, important thing, some of the Theravada teachings are not in accordance with the Pali Canon. So therefore, we use the word early Buddhism, right? Early Buddhism. So teachings of the Buddha in the Nikayas are called early Buddhism. Some of the teachings taught by Thetavadas also not in accordance with Pali Canon. I think this one also one of them, you know. This one also one of them. So some of the Buddhist schools, they had that after death, a being may remain in this intermediate state for some time before they take a new rebirth. So actually this idea is still accepted nowadays, right? Nowadays. The Theravada tradition represented in Cakkapala, represented in Visuddhimagga, and lately represented in Abhidhamma Sangha. Abhidhamma Sangha is a comprehensive manual of Abhidhamma, right? We always teach Abhidhamma Sangha. So according to Theravada tradition, so Theravada tradition categorically rejects the existence of intermediate state. Theravada Buddhism always rejects the idea of a being who linger for 7 days or 49 days. They say that if we die, we were respawn in a new existence right away. So there's no in-between state. Kathavatthu claim that rebirth is instantaneous. The moment the consciousness of the old life ends, the consciousness of the new life begins, with no time or state in between. So in Abhidhamma and Patthana, really, especially Patthana, so there is one condition, we call it Anandara. Right after that. Right after we die, we were born, new life. So there is one story mentioned in Samyutta Nikaya commentary. So there's one monk, not very well, sick. He want to escape from samsara. So therefore he meditate the whole day, because he want to stop samsara. So then, because of serious meditation, he died without eradicating defilements in his mind. So he was born in a heaven right away, meditating. He died meditating under the tree in the human existence, and was born as a human, as a deva in the deva mansion, meditating. So when you look at this, we can understand Theravada point of view, no? Meditating under the tree in the human realm, died, right away he was born in the heaven. So in the heaven, meditating. Then angels in the heaven, so they remind him, you are no longer a Buddhist monk. Now you are a deva, enjoying sensual pleasures, enjoy pleasures. So, Kathavatthu, which is, we can say that earliest evidence. Then after that, Visuddhimagga follow, and Abhidhamma Sangha follows. Then, as Abhidhamma Sangha is our textbook, so the idea of not having Antarābhava in between state is very firm. So when you ask somebody, some Theravada monks from Myanmar, from Thailand, they will say that there's no in-between state. But when you ask the monks from Sri Lanka, they will say there's a possibility because they focus on Pali Canon. Now Sri Lanka education, they focus on Pali Canon. Education of Buddhist monk from Myanmar, Thailand, stay focused on commentaries. So, as a Theravada, insisting on immediate rebirth is important, because by insisting, by saying or accepting immediate rebirth, so they're trying to prevent the introduction of a permanent or a semi-permanent soul or entity that will undermine the core teachings of anatta, non-self. Because as a Theravada Theravada, so they strongly accept the teachings of anatta. They worry that by introducing Antarābhava, the life between death and rebirth, the Buddhists may accept the teachings of anatta, teachings of atta, Atman. There is an entity or there is a passing. So arise between death and rebirth. So they worry that will contradict important teachings of the Buddha. Because important teachings of the Buddha, teachings of anatta or non-self is the most prominent, I think the prominent teachings of the Buddha compared to other religions. Every religion, including Jainism, they accept a kind of soul or kind of entity that exists permanently, that exists forever. That's a kind of soul. So when we accept, so there is a in-between state. So that means the person is not dying, stay as a person after he died, stay exists as a person and move to another life, So therefore, they reject the intermediate existence. So according to them, we died, we call it death consciousness. Then right away, we were once born in a new existence, which is called rebirth linking consciousness. So between death consciousness and rebirth linking consciousness, there's no time or no entity, nothing, according to Theravada. So there are some evidences in the suttas, in the Nikayas, that intermediate state exists. So there is a interval between death and rebirth. That's the Antarābhava. Actually here, the word Antarābhava, I take it from Cakkapala. So there's no such a usage in the Pali Canon. According to some suttas, so there is a Antarābhava in between state. However, it can be regarded as a rare and exceptional occurrence. Only rare case. Today I will give you 1%, only 1%. So that means we cannot say that there is no in-between state, right? There are some evidences in the Pali Canon, but which is very rare, very rare. Later I will explain. The more common teaching is that after death, beings are reborn immediately into their next existence. So when we read the Pali Canon, there are so many evidences that the Buddha said, after we die, right away we were reborn in the new existence. I will call it 99%. 99%. Because, as I earlier said, that the monk is meditating under a tree, died, right away he was born in the new existence, in the heaven, meditating. So he thought that he even do not know he died, right away. So therefore, I will give some evidence that talk about there's no Antarābhava. There's no Antarābhava according to the suttas. So by looking at those examples, Abhidhamma make conclusion. Abhidhamma Sangaha, which is written around 10th century AD, about 1,500 years after Buddha passes away. Maybe before that, there is a Visuddhimagga. Before Visuddhimagga, we have a Kathavatu. According to Theravada, according to Abhidhamma, by the way, Abhidhamma also Theravada Abhidhamma. So we have a different Abhidhamma, Mahayana Abhidhamma, Theravada Abhidhamma, right? According to Theravada, immediately after death, consciousness, we call it Chuddhicetta. Immediately after death, consciousness ceases. A rebirth consciousness or appropriate kind arises. Immediately after, no? There's no time and space in between. So rebirth consciousness is established in the subsequent existence. So I will say that is 99% correct. What the Abhidhamma say is 99% correct. Bhikkhu Analayo, a German, a Buddhist scholar, I think many of you know. So he warned Theravadas not to have a Theravada determinism. Theravada determinism, because Theravada, they always believe that teachings of the Buddha in the Pali Canon is early is like that, you know. But actually, sometimes we are not following, you know. Sometimes we are not following. One example, we understand about Nibbana according to commentary, not according to the suttas. So that is also Theravada. So here, what is Theravada? Theravada, actually, most Mahayana, actually many Mahayanas monks, they condemn Theravada by using the word Hinayana, small vehicle. Small vehicle. Even nowadays. Because one of my friends talked to me a few days ago, and he attended Buddhist conference in Bhutan. Now one of the Westerners asked question, what is different between Mahayana and Theravada? So in front of Theravada monks, Mahayana monk explain, you know, Theravada is lesser vehicle, you know, small vehicle. But of course, Theravada is not a Hinayana. 1950, there was a Buddhist conference in Colombo, Sri Lanka. At the final resolution, they agree that all Buddhist schools shouldn't call Theravada as a Hinayana, but they do not follow. Anyway, Theravada means, how to say, the teachings of, not a teaching, Thera means the senior monk, right? Senior monk. Senior monk here means like a Venerable Mahakassapa, Venerable Ananda. So those are our senior Theras. So we follow their path. We do not deviate from their path. So therefore we maintain 5 Nikaya, right? 5 Nikayas. So, of course, Theravada also do not follow Nikaya strictly. And they trying to interpret teachings of the Buddha on their own. like a Visuddhimagga, like a Kathavatu, like a Abhidhamma Sangha, like that. So all these are also commentaries. All these are Theravada. But nowadays, in the academic field, so they introduce the term early Buddhism. Early Buddhism means the teachings of the Buddha that found in the Pali Canon, in the first 4 Nikayas, and also some of the teaching in the Agamas, like that. So what I want to say is, Theravada also sometimes do not follow the Nikaya, they interpret differently. But here in this case, so they're trying to interpret, there's no in-between state. There's no interval between death and rebirth, which is not 100% correct. Not 100% correct. So what they say is 99% correct. I will say that. So I think I will quote 2 suttas that talk about immediate rebirth. So in Uttara Nikaya, the Buddha said that here bhikkhus have been encompassed a mentally corrupted person's mind with my own mind. I understand that if this person were to die at this time, he will be deposited in hell as if brought there. As if brought there. Yathabhata nikheto ewa niri. Then I take something from here and put it over there. Right away. So these are, actually there are a lot of examples of these expressions. So that talk about immediate rebirth. If we die, normally 99% was born in the new existence. Right? Some people think that if we, sometimes because of craving to the family, because of attachment to the house, people became a ghost, a beta, right? Beta, which is a new body, which is a new life, new existence. It is not a intermediate state. There is no intermediate state between death and rebirth. So in those cases, somebody died and was born as a ghost in the house. Beta is a new existence, right? New existence. It's not an intermediate state. And this one also very important to understand. So when you look at here, somebody who do unwholesome deed, if he or she die with that mind, will be born in a hell. So when you brought something, bring something and put it somewhere right away. Right? This is the best example. So many places the Buddha mentioned. Another one, here bhikkhus have been encompassed a mentally placid person's mind with my own mind. I understand that if this person were to die at this time, he will be deposited in heaven as if brought there. So here, somebody do wholesome deed, and with that mind, if he die, he right away will be born in a new in the heavenly realm. So that means it talk about immediate rebirth. So therefore, Abhidhamma make a conclusion that if somebody die, then he or she will was born in new existence right away. I thought that it is a 99% correct. 99% correct. Normally, Abhidhamma trying to generalize, generalize. Now, I will talk about Antarābhava in the suttas. So there are some evidences in the Pali Canon that suggest there is an interface between death and rebirth. So there are some evidences. So I think that such cases may not be very common. So in Nibbana Dhatu Sutta in Udana, and the Buddha said that if somebody was born, somebody still have craving, he will have a rebirth in the new existence. If there's no craving, there will be no passing away and rebirth. So the Buddha said that if there's no rebirth, if there's no death, no rebirth, there is no here. Hear me in this life, or hereafter, next life, or in between the two. So here, I think when you look at these lines, very clear. It talk about in-between state. In this life, next life, and the life in between. So that means, when you no longer have craving to existence, so you will no longer have any death and rebirth. There's no death and rebirth, so there will be no this life, no afterlife, no life in between. So therefore, here I want to make another clear point. So such cases are, I according to my understanding, so such cases are very rare. So later, I think later I will give you some example. I think after looking at that, you will understand that. So there are not very common cases, only a few cases. So normally the Buddha do not make we shouldn't make extraordinary explanation. No? We shouldn't explain too much about them, right? Which is a kind of extreme. I think that a kind of extreme. So here I show just example. So there are some example. So there's an interval period between death and rebirth. So I think many of you know that in Metta Sutta, Karaniya Metta Sutta, Buddhawa Sambhavesiwa, right? We always recite Karaniya Metta Sutta. In Metta Sutta, the Buddha said that whether they are seen or unseen, whether they dwell far or near, whether they are being born or are seeking a rebirth, Sambhavesi. May all beings be inwardly happy. Actually, is a kind of radiating, developing loving kindness to all beings, any type of beings, right? Seen or unseen, far or near, or beings who are born, beings who are seeking a rebirth. So when you look at the word Sambhavesi, it talk about there is an interval between death and rebirth. According to Buddhism, according to Nikayas, teachings of the Buddha, it is important not to interpret as a passing, not to interpret as a kind of a passing or a kind of soul that do not die. We shouldn't interpret in such a way. In such a way. According to Anatta teachings of non-self, there's no permanent entity, right? Permanent entity. You die, your mind will be functioning without body. That mind also subject to impermanent, subject to changes, right? Subject to changes. Just like our mind right now, changing all the time. Even that interval, being, let's say being, is also subject to nature to Anatta. It is important to understand in such a way. Then in Samyutta Nikaya, so the Buddha is talking about the nature of craving to Vandara Vocha. This one also, when you look at this sutta also, very clear, there is a interval between death and rebirth. After somebody dies, stay do not take new rebirth. So the Buddha said, when Vocha, a being has laid down this body, but has not yet been reborn in another body. Sattocha inyadarankaya anopapano hoti. There's no physical body yet. Somebody died. So he haven't reborn in a new existence with the physical body. So that means there's an interval in between. The Buddha said, I declare that it is fueled by craving. For on that occasion, craving is fuel. Maybe somebody who died do not notice he is dying. Then the mind may be functioning. The mind is functioning. Some people, they may be thinking something, but his mind haven't established in the new existence yet. So when we talk about intermediate state, we quote this sutta. This is a very clear expression. The most clear example is found in this sutta. Not only one sutta, many suttas. But in this sutta, the Buddha talk about different type of non-returner. Especially we have a 5 type of non-returner. Some people became non-returner without much practice, without much effort. Because they may have learned a lot, they may have meditated before. Then, the moment they became a non-returner, anagami, they became non-returner easily. But some anagami, non-returner, they need to make a lot of effort. But they became Nuratana in this very life, So here, so the Buddha also talk about another Nuratana, the attainer of Nibbana in the interval. So here you can see the word Andara Prinibbaya. Andara means in between. Prinibbaya means the one who attained Nibbana. The one who attained Nibbana before he take rebirth. He died, stay practicing meditating. He stay meditating, but he died. The mind is still meditating. Then he became Anagami Nuratana just before he take a rebirth in the Brahma realm. So therefore, that's called attainer of Nibbana in the interval. So here, attainer of Nibbana means extinguishment of defilements in his mind. As you know that we have a 4 Ariya Pogala, right? Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arahant. But in this case, the Buddha said that some people are meditating and they die. They haven't reborn yet, but they are practicing meditation. But just before they was born in the Brahma realm, they became a Nuratana. So actually here, when we look at three similes, so it is more clear. So that means there is a interval. So there is a antara, in between state. So when you look at 3 similes in the suttas, so that means attainer of Nibbana in the interval attains Nibbana before actually taking rebirth. Then I will give you what the Buddha taught in the suttas. For example, when an iron bowl has been heated all day, it struck. A chip might fly off, rise up, and be extinguished just before it lands on the ground. You can imagine that there's a blacksmith. He is heating, he is firing iron bowl the whole day. So iron bowl is heated the whole day. It will be very hot with the fires, blazing fires. So there are some chip inside because he want to make some knife, some tools, Then he is striking, beating the iron bowl. One of the chip fly in the sky. So that chip, actually there is a 3 type of chip actually mentioned in the suttas. One chip extinguish, no fire, no heat on the ground, same place. One chip flying in the sky, extinguish on the air, just before it landed on the ground. So here, this ground is this life, flying, extinguish. Because the Nibbana is compared with the fire simile. So in our mind, a lot of defilements, a lot of anger, a lot of jealousy. Because of that, our mind is very hot, very hot. So when we practice meditation, mindfulness, then our mind became very cool, So that means the fire in our mind extinguished. So the meaning of Nibbana is explained with the simile, fire simile. But here, if blacksmith is beating or striking iron bowl, so one of the three chip, fly in the sky. One of the chip fly in the sky. And the moment it flying from the iron bowl, it's very hot with the fire. It fly in the sky, because of the air, it extinguished and landed on the ground. So landed on the ground means, so here meditator is meditating, a man or a woman is meditating, then died. But the mind is still meditating. Then his mind became cool. The fire in his mind, fire here means lobha dosa moha. The fire of lobha dosa moha extinguished just before he landed on the new existence, new life in the Brahma realm, So that means there is an interval between death in the human realm and rebirth in the Brahma realm. So he became non-returner in between. So therefore, such non-returner is called Antarābhava. So he attained Nibbana halfway, or in between state, in between death and rebirth, death in the human realm and rebirth in the Brahma realm. So he became non-returner halfway. So the Buddha said that, so too, a bhikkhu is practicing meditation, let's say meditation. Usually here in the sutta, the Buddha explained way of meditating. A bhikkhu is practicing this with the utter destruction of 5 lower factors. He becomes an attainer of Nibbana in the interval. Antarābhava. So most of the Buddhist schools, actually Tibetan Buddhism, they emphasize importance of in-between state. Maybe they look at such teachings. It is not wrong, but it's very rare. I think that it's very, very rare case. Even among the 5 types of non-returner, there is only one, who became non-returner halfway, in between state. Another example, actually the Buddha also talk about another type of non-returner. So a man is practicing meditation. Then he died. Then just he became non-returner at the time of rebirth in the Brahma realm. So the Buddha gave example. A blacksmith is striking iron bowl. One of the chip fly in the sky. And flying in the sky because of the air. So, how to say, the fire or the heat is getting cooler and cooler. Then, the moment that chip landed on the ground, there's no more heat. There's no more heat. The heat is extinguished. So there is one type of non-returner, non-returner who became non-returner the moment he was born in the Brahma realm. So in this case, there's no interface. So therefore, when we look at teachings of the Buddha in the Pali Canon, so there is an interface between death and rebirth, between two life. So I think that there is no physical body, just the mind. I don't think it may last so many days or so many weeks. No, of course there may be interval. So now I will make a conclusion, because if I am explaining so much, then you will not get my point. Suttas contain some of the evidence for the existence of immediate state. However, we must understand that it is a rare case. The far more common teachings of the Buddha is that after death, beings are reborn immediately into their next existence. Some will say that it is a 99%. So therefore, Abhidhamma trying to make conclusion. So there's no interval. And Kathavatu also make a conclusion, there's no interval, which is not 100% correct. So therefore, rather than speculating about what happened between death and rebirth, we should focus on what truly determines our future, our present karma, our wholesome conduct, and cultivation of wisdom. So this is the most important. If we are elaborating, explaining about in between state, between death and rebirth, so there will be no, not much, useful for the Buddhists. So what matter is, we need to live with the moral conduct, sila, mindfulness and concentration, samadhi, and right understanding, wisdom. So in that way, we can prepare for our fortunate rebirth. So normally, if we are talking about or elaborating too much about what is not important, according to suttas, so what matter is, we need to focus on present moment. Don't too much focus on, what happened after death. When I talk about death and rebirth, people always ask me a lot of questions. Especially, they worry what happened to us when we are dying. So much fear, so much worry. So I think for me, the most important thing is present moment. I need three things. Number one, don't regret what happened to you in the future, in the past. No regret. You may have done some wrong things in your past. Try not to have a regret. Regarding with the future, don't try to have a worry, too much worry, which will make you, how to say, kind of fear or, a lot of speculation in your mind. Then just focus on the present, which is right, which is the most important. So according to Buddhism, only three things. Morality, sila, concentration, samadhi, and panya, wisdom. Only three things. So then, if you develop all these good qualities, your future will take care of itself. No need to worry. So for me, I just focus on in the present moment. That's the right way to live, right? Okay, that's all my talk. So that I hope you have a takeaway message. So, question right now. Question.
Hello. Any questions from anyone?
I don't know. Hello, Bhante. I don't know much about Buddhism, and I think I can follow what you say, but I got worried for my mother. So what happened is, I'm more like a Mahayanist. So the Mahayanists believe that when somebody passes away, as children, you have to do good so that they can go to a better place, right? So that interpretation is there is an interval period. And during the interval period, we can, as children, we don't care what happened. My mom is very good, but we don't care what she did. She may not be wise enough to do the things that we suggest. But as children, if this thing happen, we will, like for example, the Mahayanists will not take meat for 49 days. They will not, don't know what, I also don't know because I'm not a good Buddhist, I don't know much. So that interpretation is there is a rebirth, there is an interval. Sorry to ask stupid questions.
Yeah, the concept of interval between death and rebirth also can be found in the suttas, right? It's not wrong, but I think it is just only 1%. Openly speaking, Mahayana make too much elaboration on that. So because of that, as a children, you will worry, you make a good deed between 49 days and share the merit, right? So according to, I will not say according to Theravada. I will say according to suttas or from Nikayas, the Buddha also focus on present moment when we are alive. One of the famous, I will say that one of the famous monk from Myanmar, Paul Sierra, said that people share the merit. 99%. He also say you the one. 99%. The department will not get it. 99%. No, actually he focused the importance of right now. Of course, we share the merit. People may get it. Right? Our departed relative, or in this life, or our relative in previous life may get it, right? But it's not sure whether they get it or not, right? Not sure. But if we can see with the divine eye, of course, right? So therefore, as a Theravada, we always say that when you do meritorious deed, firstly you get it. Firstly, those meritorious deeds you get it. That's 100% sure. Don't think that you do not get the benefit of meritorious deed, even though you dedicate it for your departed father or mother. But if they can rejoice, share all our good deed, they can get the merit. I think it is only one type of beta, one type of ghost, we call it wandering ghost. If they rejoice, they can get the share of the merit, right? Share the merit. So, what I want to say is, the concept of 7 days, concept of 49 days, don't take it seriously. Don't take it seriously. There may be intermediate period. It can be 7 days, it can be 49 days. Probably, I think only a few days. So the main thing is not to have so much thinking about those ideas, right? The main thing is we do meritorious deed, we share the merit to our departed mother or father, which is, even we dedicate to them, which is the loving kindness, compassion, right? Which is a tremendous meritorious deed. Meritorious deed. People normally think that if we do not share the merit at the 49 day, the departed relative may not get it. No, not such a way, not such a way. Suppose if our departed relative died with the attachment to our family or house, and whatever we do meritoriously, we share the merit. So they can get it anytime. Right now, or after 1 day, after 2 days, like that, right? The main thing is not to have too much thinking about 7 days or 49 days. We can share merit anytime, right? So, okay.
Hello, good evening, Bhante. So regarding death, then what is the Theravada approach regarding the body after the death? Is it okay for cremate? Let's say if there's 1% of staying back, so the cremation of this 1% will have some feeling when the body is burned over there, right?
Oh, you mean what we should do after somebody die, right?
Yeah, the body, is it?
The body. Normally, there is in the suttas, 3 things to decide somebody is dead or not. Number 1 is are you me? Life faculty. So we have 2 types of life faculty, mental life faculty and physical life faculty. Another one is the consciousness, vijnana, which is not very sure, We will not know what time life faculty and consciousness leave our body. We do not know. Another one, the third one is the usama, heat, bodily heat. So when somebody dies, so then that no more heat, right? No more heat. So only that one we can decide. Somebody really died. So therefore, I think here is another beautiful tradition in Mahayana, Mahayana. So they wait for some time, right? How many? Sorry? 8 hours, right? I think that's a very beautiful tradition. When somebody dies, we need to wait, right? Because there may be some heat in the body, right? Trying to follow that tradition. Maybe I'm also thinking, I will talk to my disciples. If I die, then you wait another 8 hours. I mean, what I want to say is, when we look at what the Buddha taught in the suttas, what we can measure is bodily heat, right? Bodily heat. So therefore, Mahayana, they trying to wait 8 hours, no touch, right? Which is very beautiful. And we do not know what time, we die. So I don't know current medical, what is it? How medical decide, They look at the breathing, right? Or the beating of the heart. Now what I want to say, actually, question is very beautiful. How to do our body after we die? You can do anything. You can cremate your body, or you can bury or bury. You can bury on the ground, but in Tibet, they cut into pieces and feed to the animals, which is, I think, also selfless teaching, But in Singapore, cremation, and some people, they throw ashes into the sea, and nowadays they have a beautiful serenity garden, and the ashes are sprinkled in the garden. I think it's really beautiful. I think over 10 years ago, the reporter or somebody who write article in the newspapers, how you call it? One journalist from Straits Times called to our temple, and he said he want to talk to a Burmese monk. Then I answer, and he asked me question. Burmese people, after cremation of their departed relatives, they left without collecting any ashes or bones. They don't care about ashes or bones. Why? Because as a Chinese, I think he's Chinese. As a Chinese, the remains of your departed father or mother is important for you, right? Normally you keep somewhere. So he asked, why Burmese people, they don't care about ashes and bones? I answer, as a Buddhist, after we die, our body is nothing to us. So we can do anything. Or cremation, or you can feed to the animals, like that, right? Some people donate to the hospitals, and also schools. So recently, one of the Burmese men, so they are very rich. I think most of the whole family, they sign. So when they die, they donate their body to the hospitals to make use of it. So Actually, donating to the hospital, hospitals or schools, very useful for them, no? So after we die, our body is not important for us. Most important is our action, our karma, right? Our karma. So we can do whatever. So nowadays, so we are very happy that our devotees, so they do sea burial and also sprinkling their remains in the garden. So as a children, they don't need to worry about their father or mother, right? Just share the merit. Beautiful, right? Beautiful.
Thank you, Bhante.
Any other questions? Still got time.
Thank you very much, Bhante. I think my takeaway message is we ourselves have to live with mindfulness, virtue and concentration and right understanding to prepare for fortunate rebirth and ultimate realization of Nibbana. And at the same time, we have to do it now, at present, to dedicate and share the merits with our parents who are still alive. Because if we don't know whether there is that 1%, then forget it, just do it now. Then if they are illiterate or whatever, they can share the wisdom, they can share whatever now. So the power of the present is what
Good,
I got.
yeah, it's good.
Thank
Good
you.
idea. Good idea. Yeah.
Pom, just want to ask, for rebirth, the next rebirth, is it definitely you're going to be rebirth as a human, or maybe a plant, insect, or maybe animal? And also, if you are reborn as a human, will you get to choose your own loved one to be with?
But I heard in your question there is a plant, right? Including a plant? Oh, yeah. Actually, according to Buddhism, the trees and plants, there's no life. So only animals, insect, human being, devas, Brahma. The question is, of course, we can choose our own where we were born, no? We can choose. So when you want to come back to Singapore, you have to make determination, or you make a wish. Make a wish. That's important. No? Make a wish. I want to come back. If you want to come back to Singapore, you need two things. Number one, giving, generosity. Trying to give. Number two is morality, ethical contact. Even though you do a lot of giving, without moral contact, you cannot come back to Singapore. No? Another thing is, you want to come back to Singapore with your beloved one. I think it's not possible. I mean, if you both of you make a wish together, make a wish together, of course, you can be born together. So, of course, you must have the same desire to come back. Similarly, if you want to go to heaven, right? So you need to have a two quality, dana and sila. But if you want to go to Brahma realm, you need to have another quality, which is a detachment. Detachment to sensual pleasures. Detachment to sensual pleasures. So the Buddha used the word viraga. So in other words, you need to attain jhanas to go to Brahma realm. Okay.
Good evening, Bhante. Thank you for your very interesting talk. I just want to clarify something. You know, if there is no death consciousness, I mean, there's no in between death consciousness and rebirth linking consciousness, could you also call that a spontaneous rebirth?
Yeah, we can call
So
it.
you can use that term correctly.
Yeah,
so if there's no Antarābhava, then it's spontaneous rebirth.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. That's all I want to know. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Bhante, for the talk tonight. I just want to ask, for non-believer, people who do not believe in rebirth, do they still go through this kind of consciousness, death consciousness, and then they get rebirth whether they want it or not? How does it work for a non-believer, even among us Chinese or maybe other religion? How does it work? Can you help us to explain?
There are so many non-Buddhist devas in heaven. Actually, the beauty of Buddhism is the Buddha do not decide where people will go. Our karma, our good deed, our bad deed will decide. So therefore, non-Buddhists, non-believer also can come back to human realm, or they can go to heavenly realm. Even they go to Brahma realm. So as you know that Prince Siddhartha went to Alara Kalama to learn meditation, right? So they died before the Buddha attained enlightenment, right? And they became, Brahma. They became Brahma because of the jhana, right? So here, I think whether you are Buddhist or non-Buddhist, it doesn't matter. According to Buddhist teaching, they will have a rebirth. It can be wholesome one or unwholesome one. No?
Can I extend on this question, please? So let's say for Christians do not believe in rebirth and they are strongly against this concept. Does it mean that they will automatically also follow this process? How does it work?
Yeah. So therefore, I think when we listen to Sarah Ujotika taught in 3 months ago, he quoted many books that talk about rebirth or reincarnation. Of course, they use reincarnation. Actually, many of them are Christians. So there are many books. Did you attend that talk or you didn't attend? So we have a Dhamma talk uploaded in our Mangala Vihara YouTube. So I think it's a very beautiful Dhamma talk. And he just quoted only a few suttas, but mostly he quoted the book written by wisdom writers. So who devoted their life for many years, 10 years, 20 years, for 50 years. They study about reincarnation. So there are many examples in the Western world, and they were born in this life, and they remember their past life. There is one book called Many Mansions. So I do not know I forgot the name of the writer. So according to him, most of the wisdom people, so they became human being. And earlier, so there was one civilization in the Mediterranean Sea, no? As you know that Mediterranean, sorry, my pronunciation. There is a Mediterranean Sea, right? According to science, that was not a sea before. It was a very civilized human civilization. How to say? Human civilization, very advanced civilization there. So we have a one small area of, we call it Gibraltar. Gibraltar, how you call it? Yeah. There's a narrow passage, right? So from that place, the water from the sea came in. So when you read the science, I think you will know it. So what I want to say is earlier there is no water in the Mediterranean place. So there was advanced civilization in that place, and the water came in. Because of that great flood, many people in that area died. Flood, flood, yeah. People in that area died, and they were born as a human being in the Europeans in there. So according to that writer, many people in the European country, so they came from that civilization. So when you study religious texts, they talk about great flood, right? It's not a legend, it's a real. So when you study science, they mention that the water from Atlantic Ocean came from Gibraltar area. Then water came in, and great flood happened. So many mention in that book. What I want to say is, Sierra Ujoriga talk about quoted many books, so that were written by Western scholars. So many people who remember their past life, even though they do not believe afterlife, they still will have, they still will was born, according to Buddhism. Okay.
Any more questions?
Thank you, Bhante, for the very informative and clear talk. I just have this burning question on, what should we be thinking at the very last moment before death, before we die? Like, should we be focusing on our meritorious deeds that we did, or should we be more focused on the concentration or meditation? Which one will make us lead to a better rebirth? Thank you.
Okay, I think this will be the last takeaway message. Because people always ask, how should I die? How should I die? The best way of dying is meditating, which is very difficult. Very difficult. One thing I want to say, people think that when we are dying, it will be very painful. Of course, painful feeling is very common to many people. But after painful experience, there will be one period of time. It can be 1 hour, 2 hours, some people 9 hours like that. no pain. No pain at all. Physical body, in their physical body, there will be painful feeling, but the mind no longer pay attention to that. Right? Now I'm in sitting for about 1.5 hours. Pain here. Pain here. But when I focus on my talk, my mind do not pay attention to the pain feeling, right? Similarly, actually it's taught by one of the medical doctor from Myanmar. He is a Buddhist meditator, and he observes people who are dying. So he write his experience. So I translated into English and put it into our Mangala Vihara newsletter. I think you can ask people office, so which is very beautiful article. So according to him, there are some time there's no pain experience, painful feeling before the time. So that means we have enough time to meditate. But if you do not meditate while you are still alive, very difficult to meditate when you are dying. So therefore, we need to meditate. We need to. What I mean is meditation is the best to die. So when you are meditating, the mind is just knowing maybe something, physical phenomena in your body, or you are breathing. If you cannot breathe, you can focus on the quality of the Buddha, Buddha no sati, right? So you can meditate the best things. So when you are meditating, there will be no fear. No fear. Normally, I give example of Bhikkhuni Khema. I think many of you know that. For new people, maybe there is I always talk about that. Bhikkhuni Khema is a Syrian meditator. She is a German Bhikkhuni. She has a breast cancer. Then quite often she have to go to hospital. The one time, so whenever she is in hospital bed, she meditate. Then the moment. So by the way, I want to share my experience a little bit. Recently, I do my what is it? Teeth. Implant. So the moment they are doing my teeth, I'm trying to meditate to escape suffering. Can do that, Can do that. So what I want to say is, we do not pay attention to their work. We just meditate. Sometimes I meditate on my breathing. Sometimes I was cultivating loving kindness to the doctors, to the nurses. So in that way, no fear in my mind, less pain in my body. Similarly, when we practice meditation, the moment we die, so our mind is stay in the present moment. No fear in our mind. Just like a Bhikkhuni Khema. So she was lying down in the hospital bed, meditating and just knowing what is happening in our body. So she used the word life energy. She noted that life energy is moving backward from her, feet, from our feet to from our knee, then from knee to thigh. Just know what is happening. Actually, she is going to die because life energy is moving upward. So normally, it's somebody who do not meditate. We have a lot of fear and anxiety. I am going to die. A lot of fear will come. So if we have a fear in our mind, there's so much suffering. But Bhikkhuni Khema, she just knows what is happening in her body. Life energy is moving backward from foot to knee to thigh. So actually, when that life energy moves to her heart, then she might die. She might die. Then suddenly the doctor came in. And the doctor used machine, and then she recovered. The light energy go downwards. So here, the point is actually my explanation is not very clear. Those who want to know further, that you read her book. Nowhere. I think if you Google online, you can go to Wikipedia, Bhikkhuni Khema. So in the Wikipedia, it is mentioned that. So what I want to say is the best thing to die is meditation. It can be breathing meditation, which will be very difficult, or it can be just knowing what is happening in your body, in your mind. That's all. Number one. Number two, if you cannot meditate, and trying to do another meditation, which is a Buddhanosati, recollection of the quality of the Buddha. Don't do any other things, just recite in your mind. Buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi, Dhammam saranam gacchāmi, Sangham saranam gacchāmi. Itipiso bhagavā, arahant sammasambuddha. Whatever Pali passage or passage you remember. Because if you recollect the quality of the Buddha, then you can fear may not come in. That will be second. Another one is loving kindness. Loving kindness. When you are dying, trying to practice loving kindness. The Buddha said that loving kindness is the highest meritorious deed among the mundane ones. And the last one is to remember our meritorious deed. That should be the last one. Because in Asian Sri Lankan, so they use this tradition. They record their meritorious deed in a book. When somebody is going to die, they will read out their meritorious deed. So in that way, the person who is going to die have a lot of choice in his mind. So in that way, we have a good rebirth. So I think that's all my take-away message. I hope now time also set.
Thank you very much, Bhante, for this wonderful talk. Will we say sadhu 3 times to Bhante? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. We'd like to invite Brother Eric to present the token of appreciation to Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Just a short announcement. The next Dhamma talk will be on the 3rd of August by Bhante Susila. He's a resident monk of Buddhiraja Buddhist Society. Maybe some of you have heard his talk before. The topic of the talk is loving kindness to insight. Same time, same place, Hope to see everybody again. Thank you for your support. So before we end the talk, by the way, tonight's talk is being recorded. It will be uploaded in the YouTube, also in Mangala Vihara Facebook. Just look out for it. So as usual,
Oh, got to put.
okay, before we end, please stand up, put your palms together, and we chant Chatta Manava Gata.
Yo varatam bhavaro manu jesu sakyamuni bhagavakata kecho parakato bala vidiya samangi dan sukatan saranatamu pemi ragawi ragamaninjamasokan Dhamma masanggata patikulan Madurami mampagunan suwipadan Dhamma mimang saranatamu pemi Yatta chade nama apalamahu Chatu susisu puri sayugesu Attacha pogala dhammadasate Sangami mansara natamu pemi Satu, satu, satu.
Thank you,
Good night,
Bhante.
everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.